Hello, folks. Welcome back to Thinking Game Trivia with me, Quizmaster Jack, doing my weekly thing of playing through Buzzwords 2023 pop culture and sports. This is your first time joining us. Buzzword is a game that replicates the Quiz Bowl experience. So each question is going to be a series of clues that go from more obscure to more well-known. I'm going to try to buzz in as soon as possible and get it right. Starting with question 1.
Immediate fan outcry in 2023 made this company abandon its plans to alter its OGL or open game.
Wizards of the Coast, the OGL. Wizards of the Coast, they have the D&D, Dungeons and Dragons brand, as well as Magic the Gathering. And they tried to... Basically, they had the OGL, which is the open game license, which kind of let people do whatever they want with the game itself and make money off of it. Wizards tried to stop that, so they would get a cut of everything that everybody did with D&D, essentially. And unsurprisingly, people didn't like it. So they got dragged through the mud, and they recanted that. And now everything's back to normal, kind of. Although I think a lot of people lost some taste for Dungeons and Dragons. But they got a new edition coming out soon. Within the next 2 years, I think they're going to drop another edition, so we'll be out of 5e. You could say I know a little bit of something about it. I have multiple D&D books right next to me here, and also Magic cards within reach. Somewhat of a fan of Wizards products, you could say I am. I don't know why I said that like Yoda.
A character on this show is told to bring a newspaper and orange juice every day at 6 a.m. to his captain. Jason
Newspaper and
Clark
orange
co-starred
juice.
on this show as sports executive Jerry West.
Oh, it's called Winning Time. Yeah, it's the dramatization of the Lakers turning into the Showtime Lakers. So it was Kareem and Magic. Kareem made Magic bring him orange juice in a newspaper every day, and Kareem was hazing him because the orange juice was never quite right. There was more to that question, but I was really just thinking about the orange juice thing because I watched that whole series. It's a good time. That was a good series. Are we in a secret theme week? Are all the correct answers going to start with W?
Emerald Fennell wrote the book for this composer's new 2021 musical version of Cinderella.
Is it Andrew Lloyd Webber? It is Andrew Lloyd Webber, and you could have put in Webber there to get a W. A strong 19 there, but yep, Andrew Lloyd Webber wrote the Bad Cinderella musical. And that's not me pontificating on the quality of it. It is literally called Bad Cinderella. Emerald Fennell is really getting out there. She had wrote and directed Promising Young Woman, and she was Camilla Parker Bowles in season 3 of The Crown, maybe season 4. The middle-aged Camilla Parker Bowles. Keeping the W theme going. I don't think it's gonna last through the whole thing.
This actor's role as Blood General James Ford in the sci-fi film Cosmic Sin won him a since-retracted Razzie Award. Out of Death
I think it's Bruce Willis. More W's! Yeah, Bruce Willis. On a sad end to his career, really. He did a bunch of work in the last couple of years, and a lot of it, the quality was questionable. And it turns out that he has some sort of aphasia So he was running out of time to continue working. So he was trying to provide for his family as best he could in his last few years of being capable of working as an actor. And the Razzies gave him they gave him a worst actor for all of the not great movies he was in. And then and the news came out that, no, he's actually very sick. So they said, yep, well, that makes us look like a bunch of jerks. So we'll retract that Razzie and say sorry to Bruce Willis. Still going on the W's.
This artist's anger at label head Punch faded after the 2020 release of her Ty Dolla $ign collab Hit Different. This artist's wish for that gushy stuff opens her verse on Doja Cat's Kiss Me More. For 10 points, what singer admits I might kill my ex, not the best idea, on her 2020...
Well, we got a glitch. Been a while since we had the glitch. I don't think it's Megan Thee Stallion. SZA. I might have been able to get that off of the end. I wrote a question about SZA a while back. So we may have technically got that one right. But spiritually, a couple of streaks end there. The W streak ends, as well as the all correct streak.
This author's 2002 book, Portrait of a Killer, theorizes that painter Walter Sickert was actually Jack the Ripper. Post-Mortem is the first book in a series by this author, inspired by her time working as a Richmond medical examiner. For 10 points, what author created forensics expert Kay Scarpetta?
I have no idea who this is. Maybe it's Janet Ivanovich. Patricia Cornwell. That is a familiar name. Never would have pulled it. And the spiritual all perfect week is gone, as well as technically it's all gone. But I was never going to get a Patricia Cornwell question right, I don't think. All right, I think we're in the video games now. So the device, it's like the Meta Quest. Let's run through and make sure we know what the VR. It's just the PSVR for PlayStation. What's the Valve one? Is it the Index? Let's just hope it's not the Valve one.
This console, which can connect to the handheld Neo Geo Pocket Color, was the first to receive a port of the Typing of the Dead. Big the Cat and Virtual...
I think it's the Dreamcast. Yeah, Dreamcast. Typing of the Dead. Where they took House of the Dead 2 and made it a typing game. That's good stuff. Yeah, I rented a Dreamcast once. Played that swirl game that's just on the hardware. But outside of that, I was never really a Sega person, so my cousins had a Genesis. But I only owned Nintendo consoles until I got a PS2. That was my first non-Nintendo console.
The first two films in this series had original scripts by Godfather author Mario Puzo. In the second film in this series, the president is told by the evil partner of Non and Ursa to kneel before Zod.
That was Superman. Yeah? Okay, yeah. Kneel before Zod that's just seemed a little early in that question for 14, but all right. I forgot Mario Puzo helped write the first two Superman movies. Huh.
Rita Ora hosted the penultimate cycle of this show, which moved to VH1 in 2016. UPN aired an episode of this show in which the departing contestant Tiffany was angrily told, "We were all rooting for you." Miss J. Alexander was a runway coach on for 10 points.
That ended? I think. Okay, yeah. I'll take that. That I don't really not a show for me. The first few questions of this one were right up my alley. Wizards of the Coast and musicals. Falling off. Still pretty good score. I think they'll give us points for the glitch. But let's do the final question.
This singer described how the boy looked at Johnny, Johnny wanted to run, before quoting part of Land of a Thousand Dances on her song Land. A 1975 album by this singer opens with her cover of the Them song Gloria. Horses is by for 10 points. What proto-punk singer?
Again. It's Patti Smith. But we'll put in the glitch just in case. But yeah, I should give us credit for that with Patti Smith of Horses. One of the more famous female punk singers. So we're getting at least 20 more points, I think, but we'll get a few. I think we're getting 21 more points to put us at 132, which should be a pretty good score. Had a 19 in there. Outside, very far outside chance that I got a best buzz on the Wizards of the Coast thing. Because they did a lot of talking before. I buzzed on the first actual clue. Because they didn't say any proper nouns until they got to OGL. Otherwise, they were just talking about people being angry at a company in 2023. Which doesn't really narrow it down to Wizards of the Coast. Could really be any company. That was a good one. They teased me with the secret theme. They didn't follow through, but it was there. The possibility was there, which always excites me. All right, now 10 questions of sports.
A team in this city was inspired during a title run by the death of Kim Perrott from lung cancer. A team in this city, which folded in 2008, went 27-3 in 1998 with stars Cynthia Cooper and Cheryl Swoops. The first 4 WNBA finals were won by the Comets for 10 points.
I think it's Houston. Yeah, because the Houston Comets and with the Houston Rockets, because they tend to have some relation between the NBA team and the WNBA team name.
An ultras group in this country, La Familia, is based at Teddy Stadium. This country's most capped player, who backed out of re-signing with West Ham to join Liverpool in 2007, is midfielder Yossi Benayoun. For 10 points, what country's soccer clubs include Hapoel Dimona and Beitar Jerusalem?
Oh. I was, they said La Familia, right? I was not in Israel for that. But giveaways are giveaways. Again with the geography clues to get these sports questions.
This Hall of Famer and Ken Griffey Jr. were born exactly 49 years apart in Donora, Pennsylvania. This man, who had exactly 1,815 career hits both at home and on the road, appeared in every All-Star game from 1946 to 1963. For 10 points, what St. Louis Cardinals Hall of Famer was nicknamed The Man?
Wait, The Man? The Man? Stan the Man. Oh, I was trying to do something about man with the last name. Yeah. Stan the Man, Musial. Okay. I did not know he was born in the same city as Ken Griffey Jr.
Princeton teams in football and this sport were captained by Donald Rumsfeld. A 2-time NCAA champion in this sport was accused of overlooking Richard Strauss's abuse while coaching at Ohio State. Jim Jordan coached.
Wasn't it gymnastics? Wrestling. Yeah. Had the wrong sport embroiled in scandal.
This quarterback only completed 8 passes in a playoff win that ended Tom Brady's Patriots tenure. He won
Yeah, who
Comeback
did
Player
this?
of the Year, throwing passes to Corey Davis and A.J. Brown after replacing Marcus Mariota in 2019. For 10 points,
So,
name this starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans.
wait. This Mariota. Oh. It's not. It's why can't I think of him? Yeah, Ryan Tannehill. I always get those two confused, Ryan Tannehill and Fitzpatrick. All these medium quarterbacks. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was really good with the Dolphins, or he got the Dolphins to the playoffs. I don't know if he was really good for him. Tough sport so far.
A team in this state was owned by Swift CEO Jerry Moyes, who put it in bankruptcy in 2009. This state is home to the oldest franchise never to reach the Stanley Cup Finals, which relocated from Winnipeg and was owned by the NHL from 2009 to 2013.
It's Arizona. Yeah, because the Phoenix Coyotes used to be the Winnipeg Jets. You said Winnipeg, right? They were the Winnipeg Jets. The current Winnipeg Jets are a new franchise, I think, or they moved some or no, they're were they the Thrashers who moved back to Winnipeg and then became the Jets? Hockey NHL is so weird because you got these teams that just like bounce around everywhere, and then 6 teams that have just never moved, never will. It's so hard. It's so hard to keep track. It's quite possible the Thrashers are still a team. I don't think they are. No. I'm pretty sure the Thrashers moved to Winnipeg to become the Jets again after the Jets moved to Arizona. It's so weird.
In 2019, this journeyman became the most recent pitcher
baseball
to throw a second no-hitter. After a beating by this then Brewer, Giancarlo Stanton began wearing a face guard. The whistleblower in the Astros' sign stealing was, for 10 points, what pitcher whose surname rhymes with tires rather than T.
Oh, okay. I mean, they really wanted to write a question about Mike Myers. Maybe they'll give me that one. I was trying to rhyme it with the British form of tires. Oh, we're scrapping and scraping in this one. Yeah, it's Mike Fears. Or Fires. Instead of tears. That's where the question was going. It rhymes with tires instead of tears. I am not getting these questions right, but it's still pretty good time, I think. All right. School that is commonly abbreviated. So probably, let's just say UCLA. UCLA in the dark.
This school's assistant coach, Tony Bland, was charged with fraud in a scandal that affected its guard, DeAnthony Melton. In 2013, this school hired its current coach, who had led the 15-seed Florida Gulf Coast to the Sweet 16. Andy Enfield coached Evan Mobley at, for 10 points, what school in LA?
Okay. It wasn't UCLA. Oh, it would have been crazy if I called it in the dark, though. Oh, just hey, I did get a basketball question right, though. I got the Houston basketball question.
At an Olympic Games in this country, a woman ran an unofficial solo marathon a day after the male-only event. Weightlifting events at an Olympics in this country were judged by the son of King George I. For 10 points, what country hosted the 1896 Summer Olympics, the first modern games, in Athens?
Okay. Really punching you in the face with these giveaways. You know, Athens. The really balancing act, because I asked asking about Mike Fires and Jerusalem. Maybe you've heard of it.
This team lost a 2003 playoff spot after a 4th and 25 touchdown pass from Josh McCown to Nate Poole gave the Cardinals a win. This team's then cornerback, Fred Smoot,
Why you gotta do this to me, Buzzword? Why you gotta do this to me? I don't even.
Fires into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! No!
Like the.
No!
Why you gotta bring up the most painful points in Vikings history? And then the dark days of Fred Smoot and his shenanigans. I wonder if they're going to talk about Ontario Smith and the Wizinator. Oh, those were some days. Well, if you enjoyed watching more Vikings trauma being inflicted on me by Buzzword, you can look back at other videos. And if you want to see new, fresh scars being opened up by these trivia questions, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, maybe trying to ameliorate my Vikings wounds. If you would also like to have your favorite NFL team be asked about in their worst moments by Buzzword, you can head over to naqt.com/Buzzword. And maybe next week they'll talk about the worst moments in your favorite NFL team's history. Thanks, Buzzword. And thank you for watching. I'll be back next week after I lick my wounds. We'll see you later.